Hey Jim and Sandy, it's Tom from Prime. I just wanted to put a quick video delivery together for you since I wasn't able to be there when we dropped the car off. So essentially I'm going to go through a lot of the options and features that are on your car. I grabbed another GLS. This one may or may not have the exact same features, but I can touch on pretty much everything. And just go through it like I would have if I was there with you. So the way I normally do that is I usually start on the driver's side door and kind of just walk this way into the middle into the computer system after that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to turn the steering wheel so we might be able to actually see some of the buttons over here on the dash. But first, we're going to go over what you see on the driver's side door. So the first thing is your seat control, all on the door. You can push it forward, whichever direction you want the car to go, or the seat to go, you move the buttons. This front one here is for a leg extension, thigh extension. So if you're taller, you can actually have a little bit more support for longer rides. Then back here we have our memory seats. So that's just whenever we want to set one, we just hit M and then 1, or M and 2, M and 3. If you want to overwrite whatever it is, you just hit M, and whichever setting you want to overwrite, you just hit M and that number again, overwrites it. Then up front here, I know yours does have the warmth and comfort package, so it does have heated seats. There's actually rapid heating seats. So what will happen is if you hit this button, actually your seat will heat up really quickly, but your armrests will also heat up. So that button will do your heated seats. And you also have heated steering wheel, which we will get to, which is over on the column there, I do believe. Then as we come down here, we have the door locks in the actual door handle. Below that, we have our window and mirror controls. The top 3 buttons on the door there are mirrors. So you pick your left mirror and move it in whatever direction you want with this little pad here. The center button will fold the mirrors right there. And this button is the right mirror control. Below that, we have our 4 windows, as well as our door or window locks. So locks whoever's out in the back out of window control. And then down by our shin over here, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'll open the door, maybe you can, right over here. That is for the lift gate. So if the car is on, you can actually pull on that, it'll open it, and push on it, it'll close it. If the car is not on, it'll open it, it won't close it in most instances. You'll have to hit the button in the back or use the key fob to close it. Then as we come around, we have our lighting controls right here in front of the driver's side knee. Again, a little bit harder to see, but we'll be able to go through these. So this is your parking brake. To set the parking brake, you just push it, and to release it, you pull the brake. So relatively straightforward, but that's parking. We have our automatic lights. You do have automatic lights in yours. Straight up and down is auto. To the right is just turning your lights on. And then your settings to the left are parking lights, and then these 2 right here are European parking lights. What that is there's an arrow, so the top arrow's to the right, the bottom arrow's to the left. That will turn on only that set of parking lights. So if it's to the right, it's pointing only your right side lights are on. If it's to the left, it's your left side parking lights. Right here we have our rear fog light. There's one light in the rear. When you hit that, it actually turns on the rear light, fog light. And below those, we actually have our dimmer switch for our dashboard. There are 2 buttons on the left side of the column. So the bottom one is the in and out and up and down telescoping wheel. Above that is heated steering wheel. So push forward to turn it on, and it'll actually show you that you turned it on in the dashboard there. And when you turn it off, it does the same. It tells you that it's turned off. You also have a heads-up display. It shows it in the heads-up display if you have the heads-up on. I know where you're sitting in this seat here, you can't see the heads-up, but this car does have that as well. And so you do have all that information available to you in the heads-up display as well. Then we move up to the blinker and wiper stalk, which is right here. So blinkers, obviously up, down. Then your wipers go from off is the 0. The first 3 dots is automatic, so they're water sensing wipers. So they'll come on automatically. The next one up is just a faster version of automatic. And then the next 2, the straight lines, are just on like a traditional wiper would be. They just turn on and stay on. To turn your rear wiper on, it's this button right here on the right side. When you hit that, you'll actually see it come up in the center console right here. And that's how you can tell that your wiper is on. Turn it back off, you hit that button again, and it turns off. The button on the left, if you hit the left side of that button, it'll actually spray the rear for the windshield washer fluid. It sprays it back there. To spray your front windshield is the silver button at the end of that stalk. So this actually has 2 different settings, 2 different steps in the button. So if you just push it to the first, you'll see it's not spraying. It will just wipe the windshield. So if it's just misting out, you just want them to go once, you can press it lightly and it will just go. If you press it further in, it'll start to spray. So it's just, those are 2 steps. I just want to make sure you know that the difference between the 2. And then the last control with this is actually your high beams. Push those forward away from you, it will turn your high beams on. If you pull them towards you, it flashes them. So to turn them back off, push it away from you again, it turns them off. So behind the wheel on either the left or the right side, you will see the plus and minus paddle shifter. You can see the plus and minus on top of the paddle itself. So that's to manually shift. Then we have our steering wheel controls. So you do have Distronic in your car as well. It's a driver's assistance package. So your steering wheel will be set up just like this one. So you have the home and back button on the left. You have your touchpad in the middle, and then your on and off button for your cruise control on the right. I'll go over these 2 buttons first because that controls what you see in your digital dash. So right now, it's most likely set up how you have it in your car currently, unless you've made adjustments. But let's see if we can move this so we have a better view of the screen back there. So when you touch it, you'll see this all highlight. And then if we swipe, you'll see these little red dots come up on the side. So as I swipe through, we get different screens in the center. Now I can swipe to the right and I get the red dots, and that will control what I see in the right gauge, which is our tachometer normally. And you'll see you can change a bunch of different things there. And then if we swipe over to the left twice, we get into the speedometer, and we can change that. Just by swiping up or down, it will allow us to change gauges. The one last thing we can do is if we hit the home button on the steering wheel, it'll bring up this menu, which will allow us to change the menu in the middle. So like if I go to navigation and click on navigation, it'll give me direction of travel. And then if I swipe down, it'll give me a small navigation. If I swipe down again, give me this full screen option. If I click on it by pushing the button in, I get a full screen nav. So I don't have to look over to the right to that one. I can just have it right in front of me. The other cool thing is to change what you see in your heads-up display. When you hit the home back button right here, see how there's this heads-up display option? It allows me to do that, and then when I swipe up one more time, again, it's going to be hard for you to see, but in the heads-up display, I have the ability to change each one of these. You'll see it highlighted in blue. So like right now I'm in the middle, I can change it to different looks. Now I'm in the left, I can change it to G-force, angle, and approach, and then I can change what I see on the right. So that allows us to change what we see on our heads-up display. And if you need to turn it off, if you don't like it, if you want, if it's distracting, you can turn it off. The easiest way to do that is actually just say, "Hey Mercedes,
how can I help?
Turn off head-up display."
I'm switching off the head-up display.
That is the easiest way to turn off the head-up display in this, in a MBUX car, which is the infotainment system. So that's a quick overview of the digital dash and the controls for that. So now on to the cruise control. So the next 4 buttons are all cruise control. So the top right button is how you turn it on. And when you turn it on, you'll actually see a little icon come up here. And so if you see there's 2, now there's only 1 dash there. There's 2, 3, and 4. That's the following distance. And the way I'm controlling that is this switch right here. Up is closer, down is further away. It's how close do you want to follow the car in front of you with the adaptive cruise control. Next to it is the speed. So if we have it at set at 60 miles an hour and I want to go up in 1 mile an hour increments, I can do that. Or if I push it further past the little step, it'll jump in 5 mile an hour increments. Same with down. And then I have resume and cancel. So those are just, if you want to resume the speed you had it set at, you press up. If you want it to go down, if you want to cancel it, press down. So that is the left side of our steering wheel. The right side of our steering wheel is all controls for our infotainment system, the MBUX system. So we have our home and back key. If you hit the home enough, it'll always bring you back to your navigation icon. So the way we control this is we do have a mouse right here on our touchpad, I should say, on the center of the wheel. And we just swipe left or right. And if we want to click, for example, the radio, we click on the radio, and we can then just swipe. So right now I'm up here where it's highlighted. If I swipe down, now I'm changing the channel with the touchpad on the wheel. And then if I want to save this as one of our favorites, all I have to do is hit save. And it's just that little plus button, it puts it right there. If I want to change that, move it somewhere, all I have to do is press and hold. You'll see options come up, and then I can move it, delete it, or save as a favorite. So let's delete it, and it goes away, and I can save it as something else. To connect your phone, I believe we already went over this, but the easiest way to do it is you go to phone, you click connect device. So when you click that, and then you click new device, connect new device, go to, if you have an iPhone, you go to your, or Android, you go to settings and then Bluetooth, click on the Bluetooth section. When that happens, it will come up with your information. Usually says, Jim's iPhone or Sandra's iPhone, and you just click on it and then follow the prompts on your phone and the screen here. It's usually just allowing contacts to sync. So relatively straightforward. Then as we go over, we can set addresses as our home or favorites. You can do all that right through your navigation. If you have more questions on that, please feel free to call me. Then as we're going around here, we can set up our phones as media devices as well. All you have to do once your phone is hooked up, click on this and it will automatically set it up from there. I know you do have massaging seats in yours. So the way you get to that is once you come into the comfort section here, if you go to the massage section, you have these options right here. So when you click on one, if you want to do hot relaxing back massage, then you just hit play and it starts. And if you want to stop it, you just hit stop, and that's how until you turn them on and off. The other things you can do in here is seat kinetics will just slightly move your seat to kind of keep you alert while you're driving. Lumbar, so in this one, we can set up the lumbar however we want, just like that. If you don't see this option in yours, the lumbar will be on the side of the seat, but I do believe this is where yours is. Side bolsters, if you don't like the bolsters being blown up as much, you can turn them down just by doing that right there. And it's the sides of the seat that will expand and contract to kind of hug you into the seat. And then if you want to change the balance of the heated seat, so if you only want it on your back, you can do that. If you only want it on the bottom, you can do that. Should be in the middle from stock. Then ambient lighting. So all this lighting you see in here that goes underneath the dashboard, along the doors, the grab handles, all of that is controlled same place in the comfort section. And all we do is we go to ambient lighting, color, and then if it's set on multicolor, you have a bunch of options here. We'll do a couple different colors together, or if you want a single color, you can put it on just like that, and you've got a color wheel. So relatively straightforward there, and you can turn the brightness up and down right there as well. These info screens kind of gives you information on what the car is doing, whether it be steering angle, as you can see, or so I turn the wheels so we go to 14 degrees steering angle, either way. Brake and gas percentages are right there. Then it will have this, so it'll actually have your performance, other gauges that you'd normally see in a more analog. You can still have them over here, temperature gauges, as well as a battery gauge and horsepower, those types of things. And then obviously consumption, so that will kind of give you your consumption rates. You can also find those in your digital dash. Your Mercedes Me apps, those things will set up. I've set up online. If you have more questions on those, please feel free to call me. And then here we have all of our access to our different sensors and whatnot. You may or may not have all of these. Just to run down them really quickly, it's parking sensors, lane keep assist, steering assist. This one is actually stop and go assist. Sorry. This one's steering assist. This is heads up display, which I have turned off. This is towaway protection. Motion sensor inside the car. So if you have this one and you ever lock your dogs in the car when you're running into a store or whatnot, and you find that your alarms are going off, that's the one to turn off. It's essentially a motion sensor inside the car. So the alarms are going off because they're sensing the dogs in here. So I've had that, had a customer ask me that before. So that is how you turn that one off. This one allows you to lower the car when you're getting in, right there. And then this one is a car wash mode, which will raise it and put the mirrors in. This is more in depth. Options, so camera options, traffic sign assist, so this will allow you to change what you have when it comes with your traffic sign. It'll tell you if you're visual, audible. We usually just leave it on visual. Active lane keeping assist, brake assist, attention assist, traffic light, those things you can start changing if you don't like the way they're currently set up. Again, just give me a call if you have any questions about any of these ones. Usually we don't change them too much from factory, so if you would like anything changed, please let me know. I can walk you through that. Then we have our other settings in here. The most important ones, or most common ones, being the belt adjustment is the little hug the seatbelt gives you when you plug it in and you lock it. If you don't like that, you can turn it off right here. If you do like your car beeping at you when you lock the doors, it's that one right there. It's a nice audible warning. And then the other one that people always ask about is the automatic folding mirrors. When you lock the doors, the mirrors fold in. It's that option right there. Lights, ambient lighting, and then just delays on how the lights turn off after you turn the car off. And then we get into more of our just like time and, you know, setting the time, setting the Wi-Fi if you want to use it. Those types of things are all set in here. Then quickly, the center stack here, the center controls. All of this is our climate controls, with the exception of the hazard lights. But temperature, if we want a digital representation of the actual climate controls, they're right there. And you can use this same way you'd use this. But so direction of airflow, temperatures, and then you have the rest of the buttons that you'd see down here. So fan speed, auto, your defrosters, rear and front, or front and rear. The recirculation, AC, you'll see that says rest. So if you turn the car off and you want the AC, it's really hot out, and you want the AC to keep running for a couple minutes, if you're just running into the store quickly, you can press and hold that, and it'll actually kick the fans back on. So you still got cooler air running through here. And then sync, so it'll sync up both sides to the driver's side. And then temperature again. Four ways, as I said, are in the middle. We've got our start engine, and then our automatic stop start. If you want to turn that function off, it's this side right here. We have our wireless charging pad right in the front. So you can set your phone there, and as long as your phone is capable and your case is not too thick, or there's something not obstructing, you will have wireless charging capabilities. This right here will give you access to Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto when you plug your phone in there. That is a charging port. We have a older style cigarette lighter charging port. I know you do have heated and cooled cup holders, I do believe. This button right here is what controls that. So you'll see the first one is blue, second one is red, and that is how we control those. As we come down around here, we'll see our dynamic selects. This is how you change your drive modes. Most people, it'll always start in comfort. Most people leave it in comfort, but you can change those just by tapping through that. We have parking, our parking package button. So essentially it gives us access to all of our different cameras, as well as automatic parking assist. The next button down brings us to our vehicle settings. The star brings us to our favorites. So you can set this menu up to do different phone numbers, different locations, different, like if you want massage, you can put the massage seats in there, do all kinds of favorites. And just all you have to do is hit create favorite and walk through those steps. And that's how you set that up. Over here is just shortcuts to our navigation, radio, and telephone. And then the volume for the radio is right there, as well as mute. Back here, you don't have as many buttons on yours. I believe yours is just this one in the middle. It's a little bit wider. That is the ride height. So you can change the ride height if you're going off-road or whatever. You can raise it. If you want it a little bit lower, you can lower it. Whatever you have it on, the car will sense if it's too high. If you're doing 70 miles an hour on the highway, it'll lower itself back down to where it's supposed to be. Then real quickly, we do have another charge port in here. And then I'll go over a couple of these buttons here in the center. So we have our reading lights. So the map lights are right here, the controls for left and right. When you turn one on, it's actually under your mirror. So people think it's going to turn this on. That turns the light under your mirror. This controls whether or not these lights will come on when the door is open. So when that's lit up, your lights won't come on. If you hit that, your lights will come on when the door is open. To just turn this light on is that button right there. To turn the lights on in the back over the rear seat passengers, it's this button right here, and then a map light. Mercedes Me Connect button, so that will bring you to the concierge service through Mercedes Me. SOS button, if you're ever in an accident, hopefully we don't have to, or you need roadside assistance, hopefully we don't have that issue, but if you do, you just hit this little panel down, and then it's that button right there you push, and it will call them for as long as your Mercedes Me Connect app is and subscription is running, that you get free for 3 years. This button right here controls the panel roof. So it's kind of rainy out today, so I'm not actually going to open it, but to open it, we either press up to vent or back to open. And when it's vented, you can press back and it will open. To shut the screen, we just press forward and it comes all the way forward. Just like that. And so that is a kind of a quick overview of some of the features and the computer system that we have. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free to call me. You guys have my cell number as well as my work number, so I'll give that to you again, which is 207-510-2286. And I hope you enjoy your GLS.